Here I stand, head in hand, turning my face to the wall. If she's gone, I can't go on, feeling 2 foot small. Everywhere people stare, each and every day. I can see them laugh at me, and I hear them say, hey, got to hide.
You do the intro.
No, you do it.
No, you do it.
No, you do it. Let's do it together.
No, you do it.
Let's do it together.
Fine.
Okay. What are you going to say?
You say it first.
No, we have to do it together. All righty. This is not the Howling Coyote Show. This is the Mile High Show, episode number 222. I am trying to record an intro with my goofy son, Anthony.
Hello.
Who's sitting around late at night on a Sunday. You got to go to school in the morning. We got to hurry up and wrap this up. Anthony is sitting around the kitchen table in front of the fireplace, drinking tea like a little old man. All righty. We are, this is the intro for 222. A little before your time, Anthony, there used to be a show called Room 222 about a bunch of kids in high school. Are you in high school yet?
No.
No, yeah, don't just shake your head. Nobody can hear your head shaking. And there was one guy on the show who had really big orange hair. He was a high school kid with a big orange afro. It was really weird.
What?
I think his name was Bernie. I don't remember. Okay, so Jim Sobo has taken over the microphones today for the Howling Coyote Radio Hour. He just got back off of tour of California with... I forget who was with them this go around, but they were Pat Berry, I think, and I'm not sure who else, but they were in California, hitting L.A. and the San Francisco Bay Area to put on some shows. The very first of the winter concert series for the Howling Coyote Tour. They go out every summer, and then throughout the year, Jim Sobo, the founder of the Howling Coyote Tour, hosts a Howling Coyote showcase once a month at Mark's Beer Garden. He will be there this Friday, which is, I don't know what the date is, the 17th, I think, at Mark's Beer Garden in Prescott, where he will be featuring Nick Canuel and Sean McDermott, and those are his guests today. So sit back and enjoy. You like music, right, Anthony? You're gonna okay.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like? Who do you like listening to?
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Van Halen.
Who you been listening to lately?
AC/DC.
And who else in the car?
Oh, yeah.
You too, huh?
Yeah, you too.
What's your favorite song for you two?
Oh. Helter Skelter.
This is a song Charles Manson stole from the Beatles. Anthony stole from Charles Manson. Pop stole from Anthony. And now we're stealing it back. Give me a little taste of Helter Skelter.
I forgot.
He sings along in the car. Okay, so back to the show. Jim Sobo hosting the show with his guests, Nick Canuel and Sean McDermott. Now, I had Nick on a couple months ago, and we were talking about his latest release. It will be released. Look at a Fool is the title of the CD and the title track. A fantastic story about how that song came about. I'm not going to spoil it. Just listen to it. Go back, milehighshow.com. Listen to the archives of Nick Canuel from a couple of months ago. Look at a Fool. It will be released on the 31st of January at the Point Bar and Lounge in Prescott, where Sean and Nick will be playing that night. The title track I had not heard before. It is fantastic. You got to listen to it. That's all I'm going to say. Pick up a copy once it's released at a live show. Download it off of iTunes. It's going to be everywhere. He released it through CD Baby. It was recorded at Raven Sound Studios with Dylan Ludwig. You'll hear all about this on this show. So sit back and enjoy Sean McDermott, Nick Canuel, and their host, Jim Sobo. A fantastic show. Just listen to it. It's great. There's some great music throughout. I'm not sure yet. I think the intro might be either Nick doing a Beatles cover or Nick's one of the singles that he gave me a couple of months ago. But Look at a Fool, the title track, fantastic. It's an incredible, incredible song. Very layered, very deep, and it's incredible. And the story of how that song came about is fantastic. He talked about it on my show a while back. He talks about it again with Jim. And what else? Yes, open mic. The open mic that the Mile High Show is hosting is once a month, the second Thursday of every month at Plaza Bowl. Go to milehighshow.com. There's a link right there. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We post the events on there. A lot of fun. It is a mixed open mic. That means music, comedy, storytelling, poetry, whatever you want to do. As long as it is family friendly in content and in language. So, we're having a lot of fun. We've done 2 of them so far, December and January. Had a lot of fun. A great turnout both months. So come on, check us out. 7 p.m. Plaza Bowl, in Prescott, the second Thursday of every month. We're also doing a one-off at El Paraiso, Mexican Italian restaurant in Chino Valley, February 22nd. That's a Saturday, starting at 5:30 p.m. Bring the family out, have some fun. Anthony, you give us a review. You were at the very first Plaza Bowl show in December, the open mic. Give us a review. What'd you think of the cheeseburgers at Plaza Bowl?
You really want me to talk? All right. It was good.
Cheeseburger was fantastic. What'd you think of the show?
I like the comedy better.
Why? Who did comedy?
I forgot the name.
His name was Kelsey Knudsen. The guy with the beard?
That guy was pretty funny.
That guy was funny. You don't remember anybody else that was doing comedy?
Let's see.
Nobody else. You don't remember anybody else? Maybe
you.
Some guy that you live with. Yeah.
You.
How about the music? Remember Dale Long? He did some. He's my co-host. Leslie Earl Lyman did some music.
Desiree Legulis.
Yes, Desiree Ugalis. Mike Adler. There was a bunch. So we had a lot of fun. And you, Anthony, couldn't make it this past Thursday, but you will be out there in February, the second Thursday of February. You're going to be out there. I'm going to get you up there to tell some jokes. How's that?
No, you won't.
Maybe we'll leave Mommy at home, and then we can tell jokes about Mommy. What do you think?
Yeah, you just told that to everybody, so she might get a call.
It's all right. Nobody listens to this. Okay, tell everybody what website, where can they hear the archives?
I forgot.
milehighshow.com.
Thank you.
You're a lousy publicist.
Whoever said I was a publicist.
All right. You out there in podcast land have to listen to episode 222 with Jim Sobo, Nick Canuel, and Sean McDermott of the Howling Coyote Showcase this coming Friday at Mark's Beer Garden, the 17th. And you, Anthony, you have to go to bed. You got school in the morning.
It's only 8:18.
8:18? It's past my bedtime. Sit back, enjoy the show.
What time is your bedtime anyway?
8:17 is my bedtime.
Wow.
All right. I'm trying to end this, so stop talking.
You stop talking.
Okay, let's both stop talking.
All right. Hello. Welcome to the Howling Coyote Tour Radio Hour. My name is Jim Sobo. It is a beautiful January day. We're sitting here staring at Granite Mountain in Prescott, Arizona, about 6,000 feet up here in the Arizona mountains. And I have two very special guests with me. This is the only folks that I've had on the podcast that are back. And last time they were here, they were overshadowed by two larger than life personalities. Tommy Anderson was here last time, and Rosemary Tracy was here last time, and we had just come back from a tour. So welcome back. Thank you guys
for being back, Nick Canuel
Hey.
and Sean Patrick McDermott.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us, Jim.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Howling Coyote Tour radio hour, the Howling Coyote Tour, every year for the last now 15 years, I've taken local original singer-songwriters up to the San Francisco Bay Area, and now we do a little gig in Los Angeles on our way up there, and I showcase them. And I showcase usually a couple different artists, and I MC the show. We do several different shows throughout the Bay Area and do a little bit of radio and hopefully get a little bit of press. And it's a great time, and it's my honor and privilege to do it. Just because when I moved here 20 years ago to lovely Prescott, Arizona, I was awestruck by the talent and by the amount of diversity there is in the talent here, and I just felt compelled to expose them and have my other favorite musical community see what great talent comes from this state. So, Nick, let's start with you.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. So, Nick Canuel, I've known you for probably about at least 15 years, I want to say.
Something like that. Yeah, it's been a good while now.
Yeah. And probably known you since you were 19.
I think
like
18
to say.
even, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think something like that. It wasn't very far out of high school.
And you were just this insanely talented young man that had no right to be that talented at that age. And you ended up going on a tour.
Yeah, I went on. I had a duo at the time called Nixon, and we accidentally won a contest. And I say accidentally because we didn't know it was a contest. We were lied to by so. My partner in that duo, his mom told us it was an open mic and that you guys needed people to sign up. And we're like, oh, we can do that. We'll help them out. And 5 minutes before he went on, they're like, oh, by the way, it's a contest. I'm like, oh, well, we should work out a different set then. And we did, and we won. And it was something like 6 months later, we were in San Francisco with you.
Yeah. And then there was another gentleman from Tombstone, Arizona that came
Richie.
up. Richie Hart, Hardt. You can check him out, RICCI, RichieHart.com. You can go check him out. And we all had a great time.
That was a blast.
Yeah,
that was a great week and a half.
Yeah, that was
we had a lot
just
of fun.
Yeah. So welcome back.
Thank you.
You are a man now.
I'm a man now.
Established in the community, respected even.
That's a strong word.
So I encourage folks to play original music.
Sure.
Because when I moved here, I fancied myself a songwriter, and I still do, and want folks to always try to get their originals out there. I think that no matter where you are, no matter what venue you walk into, it's refreshing, I think, to listen to original music.
I agree.
Yeah. And let folks know that there's still great people out there that are aspiring to really roll up their sleeves and get into the song craft and, write a good 8-ball or a bridge and, just some killer harmonies and make a work of art. And so you have just completed
I've just
your
done this.
first work of art.
Yes. So Nick Canuel, A Look at a Fool is the album title. And I don't know when this is going to go up, this podcast, but it is, what is this, January 11th? So if all goes according to plan, and I've said this on, I think, basically this podcast before, it should be out soon. I did the Mile High podcast with Matt Santos back in like September. It was like, oh, it'll be out in November. Well, it's January. It's not out. But for real this time, it should be out the 31st. It is currently right now being printed. It's being made as we speak. So it has a done date of the next 2 weeks, and it'll be here shortly thereafter, which should put it in my physical hands like the 28th or 9th, and available on the 31st, and it'll be streaming and physical copies and the whole bit. So
you're gonna have electronic access with everything, Spotify.
Yeah, it'll be on Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, or Apple Music, whatever they're calling it now, Pandora, YouTube, And it's on my website that just went live a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
NickCanuel.com. It'll be on there as well when it's finally ready.
So the website is
NickCanuel.com.
Oh, wow.
NickCanuel.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Yeah.
child,
I know.
into this musical world.
I've entered 2002.
Oh, wow. The baby is born.
I know. It's finally time. So,
That is
it'll
fantastic.
be widely available in all kinds of formats.
And so
whatever
I've been
you prefer.
bugging you for close to
1,000 years
15
now.
years,
Yeah.
1,000 years. I am that old. to not only write more music. So is this kind of a collection that has been acquired over the years, or did you have a writing spurt?
It kind of comes in waves. There is one from when I was like 16 on there. There's an instrumental one I wrote called Juliet, but the rest of them are from the age of like 21 on, and usually there will be like a span where I write 3 songs at once, and then I don't for a year because just nothing happens, and then I'll write another 3 or 4 songs at once, and that's mostly like, different spans of that, plus a cover. There's one cover on there that's not my song. But you'll have to buy it to find out what it is.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, songwriting in general. We'll talk a lot about that as we get Sean in here as well. Is quite a beast, and it can be approached in many different ways. And either you sit down, you roll up your sleeves, and you force yourself to say, "Okay, dang it, I have to."
Sure.
It's been too long. I have to write a song. Or a melody pops into your head and you kind of try to figure it out on your instrument or vocally.
Sure.
So there's so many different ways to go about it.
There are, yeah. I totally agree. In my case, I think it's best to just sort of let it happen. Anytime I make a song happen, I end up throwing it out immediately. It's almost always garbage. And so it's like I force myself to like keep something going in the head as much as I can so I can just kind of have a creative flow going. But if I force it to happen, it's usually just trash. There's so many songs that no one's ever gonna hear. Just like, okay, that was a waste of 8 minutes. Should never listen to that again.
Yeah. Well, Sean Patrick McDermott, hello.
Yes, hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes.
Happy 2020. I'm feeling very positive about this. 2020, it's a new decade. We're fresh. Let's put all that negative energy behind us and come in with a lot of good positive energy. You have an EP out there.
I do. It's been out there for a while now. In fact, the last time I was here, we probably talked about it, but it's called Small Songs. It is out there on Spotify and iTunes and every other place that Nick just mentioned.
Is Green on that?
Green is on that. Green is the first track on there.
Yeah, love that song.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Green's the opener on there.
And so it's on Spotify. People can. That seems to be like one of the, I'm not.
Yeah.
I personally don't subscribe because again I am ancient. I actually have albums and 45s and these things called CDs.
We do.
We're into that
too.
stuff too.
So,
we waste money in every direction.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and that. Well, I was just talking to somebody about this. There was a time when you heard a song on the radio, not through some type of streaming subscription device, and you loved the song, and you didn't have instant access to it. You just heard it on the radio, and it was this fabulous gift that flew down from heaven into your ears, and now your job was to go find it.
Yep.
Whether, you go ahead and scavenger your local record shops and pawn shops and any place that you could find something, thrift stores, and then and you bought it. And when you did buy it, or you waited for the release date, there was back in the industry. It used to be Tuesdays were a big release date day, and I used to go to a place called Tower Records on the Sunset Strip, and you'd wait for it to come out. Mm-hmm. And so there was a when you had heard a song or you heard a number of songs by an artist that either was a new artist to you or an established artist, and you bought the product, whether it was a 45 or an LP or a CD, there was value to that because you spent money on it. and now you own it, and it's yours, and it's part of your collection.
Yep.
And
This is
so
fundamentally
you're
different
right,
now.
right. Now it's so different. It's like we ingest music a lot differently now.
Entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a laugh. It's funny. I'm only 25, so at every point that I can consciously remember, I was able to get on a computer and probably find it somehow, whatever thing I had heard. But I do remember begging my mom to drive me to pick up a Coldplay album when it came out once at Barnes and Nobles. It would have been Viva La Vida. It would have been that record.
I was at Walmart at midnight when AC/DC released Black Eyes.
Yep.
I was like, I'm going to be the first guy to own this CD.
Yep.
And so I get it.
And that went to number one.
It debuted at number 1 in 28 countries, and I know that off the top of my head for some reason.
Yeah. No. It was because it was very impressive that late in their career.
Yeah, absolutely. They launched a massive world tour after that, at which I saw them, and they were great.
And was that Brian Johnson's last
full tour.
full tour
That was
and last
Brian's
album
last-
that he recorded?
No,
on?
they did one more album with Brian after that.
Oh,
The
they
next
did?
album
Okay.
was The Big Mess. That's when everything bad happened.
Oh,
When-
really?
that's when the drummer went to jail. That's when Malcolm died. That's when Axl Rose came in. Ugh, it was a rough few years for AC/DC.
Oh, God.
I am a
Did Malcolm
despondent
pass
AC/DC.
away, or did he
Malcolm's
just-
gone.
Oh, he is.
He got sick and then he's gone now. So it's been a rough few years to be an AC/DC fan. It is a tough
Here
time.
on the Howling Coyote Radio Hour, folks, we just get into all different kinds of stuff. And since we're talking, we are all fans, we are all audiophiles as well.
Yeah.
I think I feel safe to say that with these two gentlemen. But Neil Peart passed away.
Yeah, dude.
He did.
And
I'm
just
so
yesterday,
bummed.
I believe. So let's have a moment of silence for Neil Peart. I've seen him. I know Mr. Santos, who runs milehighshow.com, and that was his baby. I know probably has seen Mr. Peart on stage at least once. Never. Oh, okay. But I had been to a few Rush shows over the years, and just what a void,
Yeah,
just
seriously.
feeling him gone. It was I'd never really been, you kind of, whenever rock stars pass, there's a certain part of you, it's like, oh wow, that really sucks, but it's kind of part of the industry.
Right.
Rock and rollers
Yep.
tend to go, but for some reason when Tom Petty passed away, I felt the same way. I felt like this huge void.
Yeah.
That is this whole type of music and mentality of music, it
Yeah.
just kind of passed on.
Sean and I were actually talking about this last night. I was saying, man, I'm really actually bummed out about Neil Peart. I said, I think the last time I was actually affected by a famous musician death this way was when George Harrison died. I think it was the last time I was actually really sad about it, because everyone says it's man, that sucks, but it's well, it goes on. But Neil Peart's boy, that's a big one. That's
That
an
is.
important one.
That is.
Oof.
And us prog rockers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a god to us.
He is.
I mean, it's I believe me, I'm sure even Phil Collins is probably lighting a candle. You
yeah.
know, and just when Phil was the killer prog rock drummer.
Right.
I'm sure he admired.
Of course.
Neil. Yeah. So
have to.
anyway. A little sound of silence and admiration, and we're sending it out to Neil Peart's family and friends, and of course to the surviving Rush members. All right. Well, anyway, before we got off on I don't know how many different tangents.
A lot of tangents there.
I'm not even high, so I don't even have a beer in my hand. This is odd. But anyway, Sean Patrick McDermott. Sean, you. How'd you guys meet? Okay, so you are both very talented individually, and you're both writers.
Thank
You're
you.
both multi-instrumentalists as
Yes.
well. You're both avid guitar collectors.
Yes.
It's a problem.
In fact, I've amazingly downsized in the last year on guitars. I've been trading multiple guitars in for better and better ones.
I do the same thing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we've both downsized just a
Yeah.
bit.
You know what? I mean, I really wanted that Les Paul, so that
Yeah.
meant the other ones had to go away.
Yeah, it was a good choice.
It's an expensive guitar.
It's a great guitar. Yeah. I work at a guitar shop now. It doesn't help.
No,
It doesn't help at all.
It's only worse. No, but so it was an interesting way we met, honestly, because back at the time I had an acoustic duo with my lead singer from my full band, Little Larry. We were playing at Jersey Lily on Thursday nights, and this one night, just some dude I'd never met before, and his dad came in, and
He would have described me as some punk if he didn't end up getting to know me at some point.
probably
Because I walked in with a damn guitar. No,
Yeah.
I did. Did I have the guitar
Oh,
on me?
you had the guitar. on
Okay,
you.
yeah.
You did not play
my dad. My dad, when I first moved to town, or no, before I moved to town, long before. I
No,
moved to
it was
town,
way before you lived
It was
here.
when I was visiting town. I'd bring my guitar, and we'd go out and he'd say, "Bring your guitar. Well, there'll be an open mic or something. Bring your guitar." I'd say, "Okay, Dad." Throw my guitar in the car, and we go downtown, and I bring it up to Jersey Lily, and I'm that punk who walks in with his
the
guitar.
Yeah, so your
Yeah.
dad came up and was like, "Hey, my son's really good. You mind if he plays?" And we're like, "Oh, man.
One of these guys.
Like, of course you're going to say your kid's really good. He's your kid." And he's like, he doesn't have to play with you. And in fact, he can just play while you're on break. I said, fine. We'll let him sit on, he'll play on break. Because it's, I mean, it's not an open mic. Go away.
Yep.
Well, so I went to break and I was outside having a smoke and I heard, what was the song you used to mash up with Fly Me to the Moon? Was it Ain't No Sunshine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Withers.
So he was doing Ain't No Sunshine, and I was like, okay, but that's an easy song to do, so that's fine. But then he kicked into Fly Me to the Moon, and was like, okay. So I put out my cigarette and went in, and was like, I guess I have to listen to this guy. And after 3 songs, he was done, and I was like, okay, we're friends. Because I was like, hey man, here's my number. Call me when you're in town next. And yeah.
That got things going pretty quick. I mean,
Every time Sean came to visit, I had us on stage.
Yeah. I think I came back to town maybe a few months later, and we were already getting at it because it was like really quickly there was so much overlap musically to draw from.
And you were coming in to town from where?
Jesus. At this point, I had been living in Houston for just a few months after living in Lubbock, Texas for 2 years.
Lubbock.
After living in Nashville for 2 years. So I started in Houston, Texas. I was there for 18. Went to school in Nashville, went to school in Lubbock, went back to Houston, came out to Prescott. Now I'm here. It's a great time.
So then by the time Sean finally moved here, I think you were here for 2 nights and we were booked to Jersey where we played for 3.5 years every Tuesday.
Immediately got going.
Yeah. I had that. I had started setting it up before you ever got here. So it was just ready to pull the trigger when you moved.
Yep. And that duo really helped things a lot because, I mean, we were playing together for 3 hours every week, for years.
Yeah. 3.5 years.
So you pretty much you didn't have to. And when I saw you, Sean, you were where you play now.
Yeah.
Every Friday night, a place here in Prescott, Arizona called The Point.
Yes, The Point Bar and
downtown,
Lounge.
not too far from Whiskey Row. And you were there on an open mic, I think.
Oh, yeah, it could have been.
And I just came up and I got your card, and then I ended up calling you, I think like 3 years later or something.
A good while.
So you haven't had to have too much of a solo career here because you and Nick have been collaborating for a bit.
Yeah. And which was great because I had never had that in the past. I grew up playing music with all kinds of people, but when I started playing shows, it was very much opportunities for a solo singer-songwriter act, and that was all I did for when I was in high school and college. I'd get in the studio with other musicians to record things here and there, but I never had the opportunity to collaborate live on a consistent basis with another musician. And that is totally different and makes you a lot better at things.
Well, I think it's time to listen to some music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So let's go ahead and get Nick up first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Age Before Beauty. And then,
Nick.
and then why don't you each play a couple songs, and then we'll get back to yammering.
Sounds
after
like
that.
a plan. Yeah, what are you going to play, Nick?
Give me your capo.
Yes. Hold on a moment.
I didn't think to
a whole-
bring one of them with me.
It's a whole device.
Yeah. We can edit this.
No,
Matt,
you
delete
just
this
let it
part.
run.
We just let it
I want
run.
to hear that mashup you were talking about.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. I can do that. Sometimes.
It's been a while.
I certainly haven't done it as a mashup in a good long time, but I could do
it's
it.
been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Totally.
As a duo, we don't even do Ain't No Sunshine anymore.
No, I haven't touched that one.
Okay, so I'll do, I guess, oh no. Oh God. Oh no, the mic stand's running away. Okay, stay. Yeah, so this is the first track on my forthcoming debut album. Forthcoming. So yes. So this one's called Time Stands Still. On the recording when I played the whole thing except for the solo. I brought my dad in to play the guitar solo on it. I was telling you before we got recording, I called him right before we were supposed to be there to record it and said, hey man, I need a solo. I'm not doing very good on this. Could you bring your Les Paul? And long story short, he did one take and that's it. He did one take. I was like, nope, that's a solo, and we kept it, and that's what ended up on the thing. So anyway, here's this.
Days fly by and they feel so fast. Spend my time just thinking about time. Counting each minute, make sure I'm living it. Just watching the hours go breezing past. I keep watching my TV when no one can see me reading. The minutes go by, and I take my new place and I look at my face in the mirror. He's some other guy. When it's all too fast, you walk past and then time stands still. Time stands still. There was a time before you and I was with minutes, the minutes took seconds. None of that mattered the minute I met ya. Let those days go by. I keep counting my blessings to see if the mess in my mind. Here you stay. And I know what you're feeling when you catch me stealing a glance. You don't have to say it. When it's all too fast, you walk past and then time stands still. Time stands still. Days are all flying and I feel I'm dying and you just walk by and time stands still. Oh, time stands still. Time stands still when you walk in the room now, baby. Time stands still. Time stands still. Thank you. Yeah, the dog decided to join in on that one. Sounded good. Might have to do another take on that, but that's at least the first one. We'll build from there. Tagging Sean? Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's tagging Sean. Okay. Sean's turn.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, I haven't done this in a long time. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, I wonder this time where she's gone. I wonder if she's gonna stay. Oh, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. And I know, yeah, well, I'll leave a young thing alone, but there ain't no sunshine when she's gone. There's only darkness every day. Oh. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime that she goes away. Yeah. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars, and let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. And fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. 'Cause you are all I've longed for, all I've worshipped and adored. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, oh, in other words, I love you. I fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. Oh, 'cause you are all I've longed for and all I've worshipped, all I've endured. Oh, in other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, in other words, oh, in other words, I love you. Thank you.
The climactic parts.
Thanks very much. That's 2 songs I wrote. Next turn.
So, Nick, did that remind you of why you wanted to play with Sean in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminded me of that very much. And the dog just added a whole new layer.
Yeah.
That's not just any dog. That's an American Coonhound that you're
American
hearing outside,
Coonhound.
folks. Yeah, he's all of, I think, 1.5, and he's new to the Sobo family. So,
And he's a straight up tenor, it sounds like.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, he doesn't have a bark. He just has a howl. That's about it. And if I did have hair, he would blow it off when he howls at me when he's trying to tell me something. Well, thank you, gentlemen. That was beautiful, lovely, and we're going to get one more song out of each of you,
Cool.
An original out of Sean this time.
Yeah, you will.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's talk about songwriting just for a second. But before we do that, Sean, you were saying when you were growing up that you basically acquired most of your music online.
Yeah.
And were your influences from your folks, or just you doing a little bit of fishing?
You know, a little bit of the fishing, but mostly my dad had pretty good taste. I have him to thank for a lot of my musical influences. Plenty of things I love now would horrify him, but there's a lot that I have him to thank for.
I can't think of any music that would horrify anyone.
You know what? Actually, to be fair, he shows up to the bar
that.
and he's the guy that's asking me to play the Kendrick Lamar song,
okay,
and he's like he's asking for the hip hop stuff,
right.
which is fun. But no, my dad played a lot of the CDs in the car were like, you know, Norah Jones and James Taylor and Eagles' Hell Freezes Over, and then the Dire Straits, and then John Mayer. And I thought it was all old stuff. I thought Norah Jones and John Mayer, you know, were old stuff, just because that's what I was hearing with the old stuff. But yeah, all that worked its way in, and never, you know, I still love most of that music. Everybody I listed, I still adore. I mean,
a good song, a well-structured written song, can be arranged in so many different ways.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
whether if Norah Jones wants to play it softly, that's fine. But I'm sure you could take a good Norah Jones song, and make it into a reggae or metal or punk or just about anything. You know.
Yeah, if the song is there, then you know you can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a kind of a huge thing with songwriting. I think people get a little. Not everybody has this issue, but like I've got some students who are getting into writing songs. And we spend time in guitar lessons kind of working on these songs of theirs, and they're so tied up in I think it's good. I think once there's this kind of delay effect on the vocal, it's going to sound right. And it's like, yeah, but the song's not there. You got to get the song there first.
Right.
Like the mix won't help.
Right.
You know, the production tricks won't help.
There are folks out there. I think, you know, when Jack Johnson came onto the scene, and there are vibes also.
Yeah.
There are people that just write songs or write music that it's just kind of more of a vibe. It's more of a feeling. It's kind of more of a thing. They're not as concerned about, you know, the structure or having a good verse or a bridge or a chorus or anything of the sort. It's just they're just going to get up and just start jamming and getting into
Kind of tapping into
a vibe. Right, exactly.
Wavelength.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's entire I mean, if you go to India, that's the mindset of the music, of Indian traditional music, is that they're tapping into these never-ending waves. Songs don't have beginnings and ends. They don't have a starting chord and an ending chord or anything like that. There's just a particular sort of scale and set of notes they're emphasizing in a mood, and they just tap into it and come back out of it, and that's all. You know, and these performances can go on for hours because it's just a vibe. You know, I think it's a similar thing with like Jack Johnson, and I listened to a lot of Jason Mraz when I was younger, and he was doing a similar thing.
Right, exactly.
Tapping into a vibe all the time.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
And with now you mentioned India. You know, I hear a certain quality in your voice now that I don't think I heard last time.
It's the cold I'm getting over.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
I haven't sung in a week.
Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah, there's that day when you're just at the end of the cold, and you sound like you've been playing in clubs for like a week straight or something like that, and you're starting to get your voice back. So I always wish I could just hold on to that quality,
Totally.
just that one day, because then your voice goes back to normal the next day, and the day before you couldn't sing, but there's that one day when you're like, just sounded really cool. Yeah,
There's a little extra rasp. There's extra squeak in the crack.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Good.
Yeah,
It's good.
and we talk a lot about your influences from your dad, right, Nick?
Yeah, both my parents.
Both your parents.
Yeah, they were going to name me John Paul because they're such big Beatle freaks. Like, so, yeah, it came from them. It like Sean has like, yeah, it came from Dad, but then around and stuff. I'm like, nope, my parents. That's pretty much 100% of where my music came from. And they got me into the Beatles. They got me into Stevie Ray Vaughan, and everything else happened from there. I found my own stuff later, but you know, for the formative years, it all came from mostly Mom and Dad as well, but mostly Mom.
Were they spinning LPs or?
Yeah, sometimes it was CDs, sometimes it was LPs, sometimes it was this massive file of songs my dad just downloaded or something like that. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I just downloaded this band's entire discography and also all the bootlegs as well. Check it out. You know, so it all depended on what it was, but you know, Sometimes LPs, sometimes CDs, more often CDs. At the time, tapes. God, I do not miss cassette tapes. My brother and I killed every other cassette tape we ever had because we'd leave it on top of the boombox and erase it. Don't miss tapes. Those things were bad.
Yeah,
LPs are cool. CDs are cool. Tapes suck.
a pencil was handy to have though. A pencil was very handy to have. With,
You couldn't listen to a tape without having a
cassette tape.
number 2 pencil to fix it with.
Exactly. Yeah. You had to run the spool back.
Yeah, exactly. Tapes sucked.
Yeah.
Don't romanticize tapes. They're bad.
They melt.
gonna happen.
too.
They melt.
Yeah.
And they get eaten by things. Tapes are so bad.
8-tracks.
I don't know about
8-tracks also
8-tracks.
melt.
8-tracks
yeah.
are before me. But
8-tracks
cassette tapes.
And I guess if you think about it, if the width of the tape, we talk about half-inch when we record on half-inch analog, back in the day.
Well, tape has a sound, so people go after it right now for recording purposes.
Right. Mhm.
Like, quarter-inch tape is in high demand.
Yeah,
for
I wouldn't
studios.
doubt it. Yeah, and just it's great that we still embrace analog.
Yeah.
In any form, whether we're recording or listening or dropping a
especially in
needle.
music. Music's like about the last place where analog is still like king. Because I mean, how many lead guitar players who just are like, yeah, I prefer solid state amps.
Right.
No one. Like
Nobody, yeah.
no one who's going for. I mean, unless you're playing metal, typically, then that's usually going to be a solid state thing. But for the most part, anyone outside of that type of world are looking for more of a crunch thing, and you can't get that very well out of a
It's
solid
getting
state
better.
amp.
The tech's getting
sure,
better.
it's getting better, but
It's getting pretty close,
but
but it's not as good.
why get the thing that sounds almost as good as the
Yeah.
thing we've already got? You know?
Weight mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My amp is very heavy, so I do
Yeah.
get that.
But yeah, I don't know if 8-tracks sounded better than the cassette tapes because the tape was thicker or something of the sort, or the
Most
quality.
people think they do, at least.
Yeah, I mean,
engineers.
because they could get more information on it, maybe.
Yeah, and there's this it breaks up in a particular, it distorts in a really particular way.
Yeah.
That is pleasant to the ear.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was kind of like the middle ground between the warmth of an album and the cassette tape, you know.
You needed the matchbook to jam it in the dash.
Yeah, whenever I think of 8-tracks, you always think of cars. You always think of automobiles. You think of, throwing the 8-track into the car and going up, making out, up on Mulholland or, at least I do. But that shows you how old I am. Yeah.
How was it when you got somebody to actually join you?
My blow up doll was just fine. I love Betty. She was really good to
Curious
me
what name you're going to come out with.
over the years.
I
Yeah.
was like, let it be Frank.
Betty Balloon. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty good. That's a character.
So
well, yeah.
now
So
now
back to
okay. So
stuff.
we know where the influences are, Nick. But you talk a lot about. I know one of your main influences is Stevie Ray.
Of course.
But you talk a lot about Angus.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
I'm a huge AC/DC fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angus was actually a problem for me for a while. Because, like, those of you listening, hear me out. Angus Young is the world's worst guitar player. He is so good, and he's so choppy. Like, it's his fluency, fluidity, I should say. It doesn't really exist. It's all sort of torn up over itself.
Yeah.
And it started to become a problem because for a very long time, I only listened to AC/DC. For like a 3-year stretch in middle and high school, I listened to literally nothing but AC/DC for a very long time. And that started to permeate, and I began to internalize Angus's choppiness. And I asked my dad one day when I met Sonny, my partner for my last duo, said, hey, that guy's really good. I need to get better. What can I work on? And first he was a dad. He's like, oh, you're fine. Everything's good. I said, Dad, no. He's like, no, you're good. I said, no, for seriously, though, I'm a guitar player and I need to get better at this. What can I improve on? He goes, okay, you're choppy. And I was like aghast. It's like,
How dare he?
I'm what? What do you even mean by that?
We don't use that word.
And he explained to me, he's like, you're choppy. Listen to Angus Young play and notice how he's like running over his own hands. You're doing that. It's like, oh, oh God. So I immediately went back to Stevie. It's like started learning Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff because Stevie was just liquid.
Yep.
So I went back to Stevie and started learning his stuff again and like broke the cycle, and now I'm not such happy.
Yeah, I mean, both of them, they make it sound so easy in their own styles.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, you know, but they're both just absolutely
Clearly from different planets.
Yeah, completely different planets, and both phenomenal. I wonder how Axel's doing as the new lead singer.
Disappointingly. That's how he's doing.
He's just
Not
Rosie.
Brian Lee.
Just Rosie.
Is that an intended AC/DC joke, or is that a joke? Oh, I thought you were making a whole lot of Rosie joke because that's an AC/DC song. I was actually proud of you for a minute.
Nope.
You didn't know you knew that song.
Way cheaper joke.
You
than
do
that.
not know that
The
song.
fruit was so much lower.
Yeah, it was so much lower that I missed it. I looked right over the top of it. Not great, though, is how Axl Rose is doing with AC/DC.
So now, Nick, you said that you're going to be getting the actual. Are they going to be CDs?
There will also be 500 CDs.
500 CDs.
500 CDs
And so
because
we-
I'm very optimistic.
I do a Howling Coyote Tour show here in Prescott, Arizona, monthly at Mark's Beer Garden, and our next show is on Friday, the 17th of January. Will you have them then?
I will not.
You will not have
I will
them then.
not.
Okay.
No, the actual release date is the 31st, and they'll probably still be in printing by the time that we get to next Friday.
Okay.
Though I'm checking my
when
email
people
every
go to the
8 minutes.
website, are there little teases there?
Yeah, there's a
can
whole
they-
big thing right at the front that says "A Look at a Fool" out January 31st.
Okay.
And soon
You
you'll be able
haven't
to hear
done like an
bits of it.
early release of one song anywhere? Or you
Absolutely not.
Sneak it out? Okay.
No, I
Keeping it
might.
tight.
There is one song I recorded during the process of this whole thing that is vulgar that I may release as a single at a later. Yeah. Remember that never got put on there. Yeah. It's a
that
song
song's
called
great.
Songwriting.
Oh,
and it
great.
sums up my feelings of songwriting.
Yeah. So songwriting is it a frustrating process for you?
Incredibly. So. I'd rather just play guitar.
Sean, are you familiar with Sean Colvin?
Show with who?
Sean Colvin. She put out some stuff in the early '90s and has been out there with John Hyatt and Lyle Lovett and does a lot of those type of shows. And she's an acoustic artist. She's been playing for years and years and years. Great artist.
No.
And she also thinks both songwriting, I don't know as much about songwriting, but recording for her is like she just absolutely abhors it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just very painful.
I have a
for
blast
her.
recording.
Yeah.
I like
it's
recording.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't like what I got to do to get there, which is songwriting.
Yeah.
Songwriting.
And I don't like the part after it. Man, this sucked.
Yeah, having to actually put together the
Yeah, dude.
record.
I had to like copyright a bunch of songs and get on ASCAP and do all this junk. I'm gonna get an intern next time.
Yeah. Are you, let's just do a little music 101 Ed here. So there's a lot of different ways to get your music out there these days. There's different services that you can use. There's different duplication services you can use in regards to manufacturing. What did you use if you'd like to plug something?
I used what Sean used. I got all my advice from him, basically. Whatever Sean did, I just kind of did the same thing. He went through and I went through CD Baby.
CD Baby?
Yes.
And they're great.
I released everything of mine on CD Baby.
They're marvelous.
Years ago.
Yeah.
They're marvelous.
Years ago.
They're marvelous. They did
just
all the
it just
streaming.
automatically loads up into everything. and-
Yeah, they hooked it up with the streaming stuff. They helped me license my cover song through a third party and everything. I mean, they're a marvelous service. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
they lay it out really clearly. So
they do.
Yeah.
And it's not crazy expensive to go through them.
No, it was
I got
very affordable.
like a $200 discount just cause.
Yeah.
So it's like absolutely I'd recommend CD Baby.
yeah, they're excellent.
Be prepared to redo
And
your cover a few
didn't
times.
they
because
didn't
the template's
manufacture
difficult.
it for you though.
Yeah, they're printing the thing.
Oh, they are
They're
printing.
doing the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're doing
Okay,
the whole thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to use a service called Discmasters
Gotcha.
back in the day.
Yeah, CD Baby is doing the whole thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're killer.
Well, we should get some money from CD Baby because we've just really done a huge plug. Yeah, sponsorship. Yeah.
Make that 200 off, 400 off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do this retroactively.
All right. So, absolutely. Yeah, please.
And Nick, if you don't want to get into this, that's fine. When we sat and recorded a few months ago, we had a great conversation. And then at the very end, he dropped something that I really wish we would have known about beforehand. And then I alluded to it in our intro. So if you want to go to milehighshow.com and look in the archives for Nick Canuel, I even told people, if you want, skip to this point so you could hear this story about the partnership between the music and the lyrics.
Yeah.
I was blown away when you said it. And again, like I said, that would have been the bulk of our conversation had he met. But you mentioned it just kind of in passing at the very end. If you can, and then I'll hand the mic back to Sean, since you were just talking about the songwriting process, get into how and the cut so people can look forward to it on the CD.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
and
about.
how that came about. It was an incredible story.
So the title track, the CD is called "A Look at a Fool," and the title track is called "The Fool." It's the last song in the album. So the story behind this goes, sorry, I also have this cold. My mom was a songwriter as well, and she passed away in 2009. Actually, just a few months before you and I met, and she had written all these songs back in the 70s or 80s that may or may not have had music to them. I'm not sure, but after she died, my dad and I found this big old folder full of lyrics that she'd written, and I go through them and see if anything jumped out. And there's one in particular that had always been interesting to me. I liked the lyrics, and I liked just some of the words used in it are just, really, they're just good. They conjure images. You picture what you're listening to in this song. And I sat around with it for 3 years, just looking at it going, I don't know what to do with this. And the only thing I could figure out is that it seemed like it wanted to be in D minor. And anything else, I'd try to write it and it would be bad. And so I just go, okay, well, I'll come back to it tomorrow. And finally, one day, it all just sort of hit me. And I realized, oh my God, that's it. I just had it. And I sat down at my mom's piano and I played it. I wrote the song in the time it takes to listen to it. It just was there. I had it. It all made sense. And it just instantly became the favorite thing I've ever written. So I have the song now. The title track of my album was co-written by me and my mom 3 years after she died. Wow. And it became the title track. And to date, it's by far the coolest thing on the CD. And it's my favorite thing I've ever written.
Can you play it now?
Nope.
Okay.
That requires so many instruments.
Got it. So is it a piano-based song?
It's piano rooted, yeah. It's mostly on piano, and then it's built off. Sean's heard it. There's a lot of stuff happening. So, dude, it's really cool. It's really cool. I really want you to hear it. It's really cool. Awesome. I'll pull it up before we leave and have you hear it. Yeah. It's really cool.
Now, how many instruments do you play, Nick?
I play 5.
You play 5, so you play the drums,
I play
the
guitar,
bass,
piano,
the
bass, drums, and mandolin, and I sing.
And how many instruments do you play, Sean?
I'm sitting here struggling to how does he know the number so fast?
Because I just do. I just know crap like that.
Let's see. There are instruments I haven't played in many years that I used to play prolifically. But I played the flute for a long time, so I'm pretty sure I could get by on that if I had one. So the piano. Okay, in order: piano, flute, guitar. Kind of traditional percussion stuff. I can't play a drum set to save my life, but I can rip on a marimba. Let's see.
The
bass, yeah, I can play bass. I'm not a bass player, but I've had to play bass for gigs, so I can get by on it. Cello. I played a fair bit of cello, and I do play a good bit of mandolin. So however many that.
So how did the cello get thrown in there?
When I was in high school, I got fed up with my band director, and I was buddies with the orchestra director, and I said, I'll do this instead.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was mostly it.
Interesting. Fantastic. Yeah, and writing on piano and writing on guitar are two different animals, and they create different works of art.
Yeah, entirely. They have to.
Yeah, the piano, it's all laid out there for you.
Yeah, it's right in front of you. It's so literal. Mm-hmm. There's only one spot on any piano that you're going to play this note.
Yep.
Whereas on a guitar, you can find that exact same thing in 4 different spots. Yeah. But piano, it's right there, and that's it.
Low left, high right.
Yep,
that's it.
And but just what the songs that can come out playing a piano.
Oh yeah,
just opens up a whole other world that really I think it's just maybe the percussion quality of the piano, even though there's a tremendous amount of percussion playing the guitar also. But something about just laying the keys down.
Yeah.
You know, I find that I tend to write like really nice ballads on a piano when I get an opportunity to.
Yeah, they're better for that, I think, typically than guitar is.
Yeah.
You know, because on guitar you're just that guy who's like, let me play something I wrote. Have you got a minute? You're just that guy at a party that no one asks.
Yep.
You know,
Pretty much.
on a piano you're like, it's actually impressive.
I don't know if
but
I've
on
ever been
guitar,
that guy, Nick.
What? No, like on a piano, it's like, oh, that fits. On guitar, you're just like, go home.
That sound like that sound like if like from American Dad, if Stewie were to show up,
Yeah.
with a guitar,
Right.
And I'm just gonna play something for him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ballads are better on piano.
Yeah, and
Right.
guitars. I think guitars inherently have kind of more energy in them. Like,
Yeah.
you just it's harder to play a piano with energy. Guitars, you
Unless-
just strum away.
If you're Billy Joel,
know.
you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you got to be pretty good at piano to make people dance with it. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you definitely takes a lot more effort, I think,
Yeah.
for Jerry Lee Lewis, you know, to be able. There's a lot of notes there, you know, and
Yeah.
a lot more action going on.
Yeah, no
than
kidding.
what comes more naturally on a guitar to be able to access all of those notes and kind
Yeah,
of
you can
strum it.
away.
Right.
You can build the whole rhythm right there.
Right.
And, you know, get people grooving. But
Yeah.
pianos you have to actually get pretty dang good at it to accomplish that.
And so you just got done with the recording process, and you've recorded it as well, Sean. So before I have you guys maybe play one more song to end the show each, how do you like the recording process? I can personally say that I actually like all aspects of music. I like the writing, I like the practicing to get ready to play live, and playing live is a whole other animal as well, where it becomes real.
Yeah.
It becomes alive and takes on a life of its own. And maybe when you're playing it live, you like it better than either how you recorded it or how you wrote it, because something else happens to it when you're playing live.
Exactly.
It
It's never going to be the
becomes-
same live as it was in the studio.
Right.
You can have all the instruments accounted for, and it's just going to be a little bit different.
The energy is totally different when
Absolutely.
you have a crowd. It just really changes the way you do things.
Right.
I honestly, the recording process, I really like it. I like just because you get to see something you've created get born, you know. It's the most like incredible, exciting thing in the world to me. And Sean and I have done a decent amount of recording together, because I played on a lot of your stuff on your CD, and you showed up on at least one of mine.
Yep. And we've been doing some other things. kind of
Working out there lately, yeah.
Just more as a Sean and Nick.
Yeah. It's just
Making
really
stuff.
incredible to see, just watch something take shape. So you have an idea in your head, and you're like, okay, wait, I think I've got this. And then you hear it when it's done, you're like, that's not at all what I was thinking, but it's 100 times better. It's just like, this is
Yeah.
amazing how this...
And I think a huge part of that, shout out to Dylan, a huge part of that is the collaborative environment when you have a good producer.
And who is Dylan, and what
Dylan
is
Ludwig.
the recording studio?
Dylan Ludwig is a
that you speak of?
genius who runs the Raven Sound Studio here in Prescott.
Is that what it's called?
It's the Raven Sound Studio.
Raven
Yeah,
Sound
it's
Studio.
right over there on what is that, Marina?
It's on Marina.
I've been singing this dude's praises for the last 2 years already, since working with Sean on his. The guy's amazing, and like at this point, he's probably sick of hearing me say that, but I don't care if you're sick of hearing me say it, Dylan. You're very good at this,
Dylan.
and I love working with Dylan because his ear is just impeccable.
Is he pulling performances out of you, or is the way that he engineers?
He'll just throw some at you, be like, why don't you try this little run in the harmony up here and see what that does? And you go, oh my God, that's brilliant.
So he's
I would have never thought
challenging
of it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll hear something in his head and go, I bet this would work. Try it. And you're like, it absolutely works. And I
So
love
he's
it.
really producing, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, he's a
absolutely.
producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great producer and engineer. I mean, he gets out the most phenomenal drum sounds out of that room.
Yeah.
His drums are unbelievable every time. Yeah, he's really, really good with compression and drum mics. He's a killer at that stuff.
And sounds like they've got some good equipment there.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Yeah, he's got some top notch stuff.
He's got some really
in
cool
there.
stuff.
Yeah, go check Dylan out.
All right, there's another plug
Yeah.
Seriously.
for the Raven Studio. Okay, let's get some more live music to end the show.
Hello again. Okay. Here's a thing I wrote.
I don't know where you came from. I don't know where you've been. But I find you intoxicating, and I wanna dive in. Something about you's got me thinking. I just can't find the words. Somehow I feel like I'm sinking. And I don't know what's worse. Whether you know me but I don't know you. Guess it's a sign of the times. Or if I still love you even though you left pieces of me on the line. I wasn't much better, if I'm being honest. When you needed me the most, I said it's beyond us. Don't know if we can fix this. No, we broke each other's heart. Fire with you never mixes. And I don't know the worst part. Whether you know me but I don't know you. I guess it's a sign of the times. Or if you still love me even though I left pieces of you on the line. I know things have changed in us, see it in your eyes. Maybe if you and I could just settle all of our lies, then maybe you'd know me and I'd know you. I guess it'd be a sign of the times. And you still love me even though I left pieces of you on the line. Pieces of you.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I know, it gets stuck in your head.
Just made me feel good.
Thanks, Jim.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. This song is called Houston.
Oh, the land, this sinking land, I know. I heard it in the dirt across the highway. In this city, well, it's for real, you know. Big as they come in low and empty. Yeah, but the men inside, they pay no mind. Hear nothing but the numbers on the airwaves. Yeah, and the children made of sticks and stones, throwing all their bones to see the future and maybe better days. They can cast it all away, go with nothing left to say, and be free the still and summer haze. It's just Houston in a fog light alleyway. Oh, the land, this broken land, I know. I heard it in the cracks across the highway. And at times it doesn't feel like home as much as someplace I used to drive around. Yeah, this city has been on fire 10,000 times, and it'll rain 10,000 more. Yeah, but the men inside, they pay no mind, dreaming about their ships on other shores. And maybe better days, they could go, but they will stay. Tied in bonds that they could break, be free the still and summer haze. It's just Houston in a fog cloud anyway. Oh man, this broken man I knew, he learned it in the days along the highway. They said at times it doesn't feel like home as much as someplace the town just likes to go. He says this world has been on fire 10,000 times and it'll flood 10 million more. And he tell you once 1,000 times the only thing that you weren't looking for never will be better days. If you go, then don't you stay. Don't you ever need this place. Be free the still and waterways. It's just Houston and it's alright anyway.
All right, well, fantastic. Thank you both. Thank you, NickCanuel.com.
NickCanuel.com. We're looking to pull out soon.
It's alive.
It's happening.
It's there.
Beautiful. Okay, so it's on, but the CD will not be out until at least the end of the month. So do you audiophiles out there, do keep your ears and eyes open to the title once again.
A Look at a Fool.
A Look at a Fool.
Yes.
And again,
you know what?
A very, very.
That's the reason I didn't put my face on the cover. It's just right here.
Yeah. It's just his torso, guys.
The video aspect of this
It's just his foolish torso.
Look at my foolish
keep an ear out
chest.
for that. And if anyone liked what they heard from Mr. Sean Patrick McDermott, he's got an EP out there, so you can. Sean is SEAN Patrick McDermott. If you'd like to check that out, and you can find him online as well. But better yet, if you want to hear both of them live next Friday, a week from next Friday. Today's Saturday. So next Friday, the 17th of January, come down to Mark's Beer Garden between 6 and 9 p.m. And they will be there live, playing music live. And I will be there playing as well. And if for any reason whatsoever that people want to come see me outside of the Howling Coyote Tour, you can do so at El Gato Azul on Thursday, the 16th, between 6 and 9 p.m.
And if you're listening to this afterwards and just found out about it, well, then shame on you.
We'll have to be there every Thursday until people stop listening.
Nick and I will be at the Point on the 31st.
Yeah, on the night I'm supposed to release the album.
Yeah.
We'll be at the Point.
Yeah, so
Oh,
come
there
to
we
the
go.
Point.
So that
Come
could
buy
be
me
the
a beer.
album. Yeah,
Congratulate me.
that could be the
Nah, not really. It's just going to be us playing music.
Do you have any there?
Oh, yeah. If I've got the discs in hand, they will be on sale
Okay, good.
with me at the next gigs I've playing
so
for the next year.
31st at
January
the Point.
31st,
Yeah.
8 to 11 p.m.
8 to 11. Oh, that's past my bedtime, but
Yeah, most folks.
that's okay.
Mine too, honestly.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
All right, thanks, folks. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Matt Santos. Go to www.milehighshow.com and check out the Howling Coyote Radio Hour podcast and Mr. Santos's podcast. And Mr. Santos is also hosting an open mic now at Plaza Bowl every other Thursday.
No, once a month.
The second Thursday every month here in Prescott, Arizona. And Sean, did you have one more thing that you wanted to say?
No, I didn't. I wanted to say thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome. I thought maybe you had to go to the bathroom or something. I thought maybe you
No.
were raising your hand.
No.
Plug that comedy show in April.
Oh, and there's a comedy show at is it called Bucky's? At Bucky's Casino, Yavapai Casino, which is right
is it
off of
downstairs or
the
upstairs?
69
Okay,
near
so
Frontier Village
Yavapai.
here in Prescott, Arizona. And that is what date? April 1st. And that's a good day to Wednesday. That's a good day to get your fool on and to get your joke on. And Matt is amazing to see. And last time Matt did this, he brought together a gaggle of incredible
Hatsu headliner.
Brian Kahatsu is headlining. Wow. So it's going to be an amazing show. And everybody could use a little bit of comedy. Lord knows we're laughing our butts off on this music show. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
I've been grooving by myself for ages, and I found myself on 100 different stages. But there's some things that I can't do without. I just want somebody to write about, somebody to write a song about. Seems anytime I find someone who can groove me, anytime I think someone can soothe me, it always ends up taking a different route. Now I start to wonder if I find somebody to write about, somebody to write a song about. I can be the only one who sees this, can be the only one who needs this. I don't want to be alone, I don't want to be without somebody to write about. I think what I'm looking for is easy, somebody just like you could squeeze me. So don't let this whole thing drag out. Just give me somebody to ride